There's obviously a total love affair in the world of motocross right now going on with two-strokes. Those who were around when two-strokes were used commonly miss it and want that nostalgic feeling back. And those that were born after four-strokes were always used, like 2001, 2002, who are in their early 20s now, want to know what it's like to race a two-stroke because they've never done it. I know, that makes me feel very old. But those people who are that young, they deserve to know what it was like. They deserve to know what the sound is like, how unique it is. They deserve to know what the smell is like of the mixture between the oil and the gas. 32-1, baby. So, I would like to present a new idea to involve and put the two-stroke back in the forefront of the world stage. The Motocross of Nations, for the last several years, has started to kind of lose its flavor. Mainly because in the first moto, it's MX2 with the open class, which is the 250 4-stroke class with the 450 4-stroke class. Let's face it, you can bring anything in the open class that's a 4-stroke, but everybody ends up bringing the 450. Moto 2 is the MXGP class and the MX2 class, which is the 450 class and the 250 class. Moto 3 is the MXGP class and the open class, which is just a huge 450 class. At times, it doesn't really feel like anybody's accomplishing anything. And let's face it, unless it's in the United States, it's almost impossible to get any of the American top racers to represent our country when Motocross of Nations is held in Europe or any other country for that matter. And when they do go, it's not like it used to be. They end up turning in a less than stellar performance. So I would say to that we still have, or we still use, or compete in the Motocross of Nations with the 250 4-stroke class and the 450 4-stroke class, but get rid of the open class and make it a 2-stroke class. 2-stroke kind of run what you brought type of class, or make it a 250 class, or a big bore class, or what have you, or 125 class. Something that involves 2 strokes. That way, it'll even the playing field once more. It'll have a huge draw and interest from everyone else. And it will kind of bring that flavor back into the Motocross of Nations and make it what it once was. I mean, let's face it, that's the reason why the Veterans Motocross of Nations has grown in popularity over the last 10 years, to the point where Farley Castle, Fox Hills, they have to turn away people during this most recent Veterans Motocross of Nations in 2023. That's how popular the event has become. And most of it has to do with this new renaissance worldwide in the motocross culture that we are having with 2-strokes. And could you imagine in 2 of those motos where, let's say, the 2-strokes would compete, all it would take would be 1 2-stroke to beat a 4-stroke and win that race, and the entire world will go crazy. In the motocross culture, there would be new heroes, and 2-stroke prices would skyrocket. Additionally, I think there's something that we could probably all take away from the Veterans Motocross of Nations. These guys, even though they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s, they give it their entire heart. They send it to the last minute. They put in way more effort than the actual Motocross of Nations put in. It makes it more exciting of an event to watch than the actual Motocross of Nations. This year, Great Britain won, and they completely deserved to win. As you can see, Mel Peacock actually finished and was part of the winning team for Great Britain, nearly breaking his ankle. And Tommy Searle, who's always going to be Tommy Searle, but is actually a pretty funny guy, actually was able to win a moto when the guy in front of him ended up going down on the second to last lap in one of the motos. I can tell you right now that if the two-stroke class were to replace the open class, I would personally travel to Ernée, France myself to watch the Motocross of Nations this year. And as defending world champions of the Motocross of Nations, we as the Americans need to definitely pick the right team. The international competition has never been stronger than what it is now. I mean, case in point, this year in all the AMA championships, with the exception of the Supercross Championship, which was accidentally won by Chase Sexton, the 250 class Supercross titles, and both outdoor motocross titles, 250 and 450, were won by Australians. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it does demonstrate how much the international motocross community has gotten on par with American racers. And if we're not careful, it could be a long time before the Americans are able to win another Motocross of Nations.